use this in details. Like, I don't want to always know the boy or girl. I don't want to know what her name is. You know what I mean? But because it's Sophie, I want as many details about Sophie that we know about her as possible.
Okay.
So that everybody's buying into the story and they understand the story because it's about Sophie. Now here's the thing, the reading research shows that kids who read chapter books become better readers because they already know the setting and they already know the characters. And so when they're reading, they can focus on the action rather than who the characters are and what the setting is. So when I use people in my class who are real people, for the characters about that we've created in class, in other stories, the kids' brains get all lit up, like, ooh, we know Sophie, we know she rides a bike. And that's actually more interesting to them in many cases than giving Sophie a name that's not Sophie and putting her in a place that isn't, you know, familiar to them. Because it's kind of like reading a little chapter book for them. They're already in a comfort zone. So that they can now focus on the action and not have to remember, oh, her name is, you know, Hildegard and she lives in Bavaria and, you know, she does a... So, if I were focusing on things like name and live, then I would ask for those kinds of details. But since this story is about Sophie realizing something, I'm going to start out by giving them the fact that it is Sophie and then ask them where she is and let them feed the information. So, as Sophie is riding her bike, she realizes, and then I'll pause, because I want them to have thinking time. And I will say beforehand, I will say, I'm going to give you a sentence, a very important sentence in the story, and I'm going to pause. And I don't want you to say anything out loud. I want ideas to pop into your head and stay there. Right? So as she is riding her bicycle, Sophie realizes, and you have to give them the pause, something really, really, really important. Right? Don't ask them yet. As Sophie's riding her bike, she realizes something really, really, really important about her homework. Okay? And see how you can lead them in the direction so they aren't yelling out something that they don't know how to say. Okay? She's realizing something about her homework for a class. Now I can get feedback. Which class is she realizing? All right? And then I'll ask another student and just incorporate that into the story. Do you see how I can kind of control where the questioning is going, rather than just kind of throwing it out to the general population? Especially if you teach middle school, it keeps the screaming down to a minimum.
Yeah.
Or I might ask the class to take a vote. In our story, all right, she has a big problem with the class. Do you think it's math class or do you think it's history class? If we haven't done classes yet, if that is the vocabulary that they have, then I can give them both choices and say, do you think it's math or do you think it's history? And if I want to play the blame game, all right, I can ask the student, do you think it's math or history? And when the student says history, I say, oh no, it's math. and pick the other one. Or I can take a vote. Class, which do you like? How many people want math? How many people want history? History wins! It's going to be history. You know, I can play that any way I want to. But I'm still getting input from the kids, I'm getting feedback from the kids, but I'm controlling where it's going. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. And at this point in the story, I might just stop and ask one of my real high performers to tell me the story from the beginning, right there. How many pieces can you remember right now from the story before we even get into the key, really important piece of the story? All right, we're not even to the important part yet. What can we remember? And then ask one of my really high-performing kids to give me back what we already have. Now we're set up. Now we're warmed up. One of my high-performing kids has already given me something really wonderful and feels fantastic. Sophie's the star of the show, and we're talking all about her. And then I'll get into what she realized about her homework. And what I have to have, everybody does it a little bit differently. And what I have to have is a way out for kids that's graceful. So if I ask for ideas about the homework, and I don't want to use it in the story, I have a way out that makes the kid feel like their input counted. And, you know, most of the time, I'm the one that feels bad, they don't. But but I need to do that for myself. So I will ask for suggestions. Like, you know, we're told to ask for suggestions and pick the one that has the most energy or the most, you know, fireworks shooting out of it, or the whole class goes, oh, or whatever when they get it. And if you don't like the answer, what I say is, oh, no, that was Monday. That's what she realized Monday. Today is Friday. And then go to somebody else. Oh, no, that's what she realized Thursday.
Nice.
Today is Friday. Yeah. What did she realize today? That does several things. One, it lets the kid know I accepted their idea. Two, it lets me review days of the week. And three, I actually make it really long. I can say, oh, all right, let's go back. Who said that she realized that her math homework was due? And I can ask the class to tell me who said what, and we can go back and review that. Until I get an answer that I really like. And really and truly, it's a tough one when they call out something that's really phenomenal in English and you really, really, really want to use it. Because you don't want to reward them for calling out something in English. So what I'll do is, if the kid calls out something that's just so phenomenal in English, I just can't, like, not bear to use it. After laughing, then I go, what I will do is say, all right, how can we put this in words in Spanish that we know how to say? And then together as a class, we'll kind of puzzle it out. And if they can't figure it out, I'll give them a suggestion. I'm talking to Alaska. To Alaska, what do you want? He's trying to have a conversation while I'm trying to do a workshop.
What do you son?
Just so you know, his friend Kayla also realized that she won this opportunity. Now he thinks it's because they're the only two that signed up for it. Just a moment. Then you have to tell me later, okay? Realizing Sophie's problem. Alright, so
then step into frame.
If they don't know how to say, I will just suggest to them, you know what, how about if we put it in Spanish this way? Or what's another way we could say that in English so we can try words to say it? And we just take a little break, we figure out how to say it in words that they know how to say, and then we use it. Because truthfully, what we want them to be able to do is to circumlocute.
Yeah.
And if they give us a really good answer, you know, if it's the first day of level 1, not the way to go. But by May, you know, even in level 1, we can do that. What's a way that we can put that in words that we know how to say? And we'll just take a break and do that. Okay, so my 3 minutes turned into 13.
We probably, you know, it's 10:30 in Laurie's time.
No.
We should probably
I really want to thank you guys. You have so much going on there in Alaska. It just
no, we have Michelle.
Yeah, right, we have Michelle.
We don't.
I'm really happy that we realized that I don't have a problem.
She was worried for me.
Not a Friday problem. That's good.
Oh, that's funny. So,
We want to see the sun. Who won the contest?
So please make sure if you have any other questions that you just shoot me an email or whatever. Don't, you know, pretend I'm in the room down the hall and you just can't get out.
oh.
You're stuck in one of Michelle's rooms out there.
Yeah, right.
What was that? I'm not hearing this. Oh, yeah. In my little reload that can't get into the room after hours.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
That's right.
Oh.
We're stuck.
At least you can get into your classroom.
Yeah. Yeah. I just can't get into the building to make it. Anyway, Laurie, thank you so much.
I raised my caribou coffee to you.
Goodbye.
She knows us too well.
We wish you sunshine.
Yeah.
Happy Easter. Yes. Happy spring.
All right, we'll be in touch. Bye-bye.
Bye.
But I was under the table. Because I think this was